Diamond, Secretary at Barnett. Bobby takes care of everything. She even knows what we need before we need it. She gives of her time and talents each and every day. She cares for everyone that walks into the office, whether it's a skinned knee, a bumped head, hurt feelings, or just a bad day. She constantly volunteers to take on extra jobs that are not in her job description because she cares so much about the patrons and employees of Barnett. Bobby goes out of her way to help a teacher, child, or parent who needs assistance. There is such a warm family feeling as people enter our school, and it's in large measure due to Mrs. Diamond's welcoming presence. And your nominators, there's more than one, are Gwen Spencer and Dawn Applegate. If you'll come forward, please. Exciting because all of these get a gift. You'll see this nice crystal award that they receive, as well as a gift card and some special recognition. At the end of the year, in the summer, we're going to put them all in a hat, and one will win a trip as well. So that will be coming. You'll hear about that. Okay, our next one. Matt Roach, bus driver in transportation. Matt is wonderful. He's been our bus driver for the past several years. We always enjoyed his fun and witty personality. He regularly goes above and beyond and truly just understands the mission and vision of the district when it comes to customer service. This is just one example. My daughter hurt her ankle during the morning. By the end of the day, she was hobbling along and obviously in pain. Normally, Matt doesn't drive by our home. He turns the corner a quarter mile away, and my children get picked up and dropped off there. Because Matt saw the size of her ankle and that she was in obvious pain, he didn't want her to walk on it, so he drove her to our home. Matt's gesture meant the world to her. He cared enough to care for her even when he had a busy afternoon with plenty of other children. But Matt didn't think twice about helping her out. And your nominator is Allison Hansen. It's fun to hear the little stories and to read the stories behind the nomination. Okay, here we go. Our next one, Stacy Johnson, Secretary at Spanish Oaks Elementary. Just over a year ago, my son was diagnosed with diabetes. It was the scariest day of my life. Sorry. The following morning, I called the school to let them know that my son would not be attending for a few days. They let me know that they would gladly take care of my son's diabetes. Stacy has cared for him while he's at school. Stacy checks my student's blood sugar several times a day, administers snacks based on the blood sugar, and administers insulin shots at lunchtime and other times to help my student control his blood sugar. Not only does this guardian angel do this for my son, she makes having diabetes a cool and fun thing. They play games like Guess My Blood Sugar and Guess the Carbohydrate Count of today's lunch. My son truly loves Mrs. Johnson and knows that no matter what is going on, he will be helped with his diabetes. I could never thank Mrs. Johnson enough for all she does. I feel safe taking my son to school. The only word that can describe her is angel. And your nominator is Jody Acey. Okay, our next one is Melissa Brotherson, CTE teacher at Payson High School. Mrs. Brotherson is Payson High Student Council Advisor and mentor teacher. The Student Council did a charity event for a needy family. The family was displaced, so I went with them to deliver the items. While there, Melissa, I'm on one tonight. Melissa noticed that one daughter was without a coat. She removed her own along with her scarf and gave it to a young girl. The coat was of high quality, but was given without hesitation. It was not until our ride home when I asked, "Where's Mrs. Brotherson's coat?" That is when a student told me what had taken place. Melissa has a giving spirit and truly cares about students. And your nominator is Ryan McGuire. I think this is such a fun thing to go through and read all of these. You can see that it's very difficult to choose. Let's go with our next one. Candy Sorensen from Sage Creek Elementary. Sorensen demonstrates positive energy and kindness and knows how to get children to do their best through positive reinforcement, appropriate discipline, and building them up. My son has had some social and emotional problems and was diagnosed with high-functioning autism, sensory processing disorder, and attention deficit hyperactivity or disorder. My son can be difficult to manage. Mrs. Sorensen has the unique ability to roll with the punches and manages his behaviors and emotions very well. Ms. Sorensen has made special efforts to ensure my son's needs are met and that he progresses with his academic goals. She looks for answers instead of problems. Ms. Sorensen displays the perfect blend of strictness and love. It is clear she loves and cares about my son. She ensures that he knows the rules and finds ways to motivate him without fear, shame, or guilt. Mrs. Sorensen is dedicated to excellence. And you actually had two nominators, and so that's intermingled both of their thoughts. So here we go. Nominators are Amy Condi and Brittany Ward. And on a final note, before you go back and sit down, stay forward, Candy. We're going to have you go around and shake everyone's hands, and then when you come out, I'll take a picture, and I want a picture with the nominator as well as the awardee too. But I wanted to tell the school board tonight, I had a very nice phone call, voice message today, and it was an individual that partners with the foundation, and he has been to every one of our schools, and he said without a doubt, every secretary that he met treated him with kindness and was so polite, And I just wanted you to know that because he goes to a lot of schools and he thought ours was the best. So that's our secretaries at all of our schools. Nominators, we need you out there as well, if you don't mind.
Okay, next item on our agenda, we're going to do a couple of items, item D and F, here together. Recognition of Huntsman Award winners and also recognition of adult education programs. John?
Okay, appreciate the opportunity to be here. If it's all right, I'd like to first do the recognition of the adult ed programs because we have a special Peak Award as well for one of our adult ed people tonight. So we would first like to have Mr. Steve Willingham come up. Along with him, a young man by the name of Joe Kelly, and if he could come forward. I just wanted to read a little bit about Steve. Steve has a positive influence with people he interacts with. He goes the extra mile to help others succeed. He is dedicated as he has administered the adult education program at the county jail for the past 6 years. He single-handedly is responsible for 788 GED adult education diplomas. He set the standard not only in the state of Utah, but around the country. Steve has changed hundreds of lives as the result of his efforts in giving many inmates the confidence they need to be productive in the outside world. Steve has served in education for 37 years and is now officially leaving, even though I think he retired a couple of years ago, 6 years ago. So this is the second time around with Steve, but he will leave a huge gap that will be very difficult to fill. So congratulations to Steve. And then we'd like Joe to just say a little bit about the adult ed programs. So, thanks.
I can't say enough about Steve. I met Steve in about 1990 when I came to Spanish Fork High School, and he was teaching the special needs class at that time. He spent a career, 30 years, working with handicapped kids, special ed students, and placing them on jobs, helping them get jobs, going around and working with them. He is one of the most committed individuals for human beings that I have ever met. I was lucky because when I was asked to take over the adult ed program that very year, we lost our teacher at the jail. And Steve called me, and he had just retired, and he begged me. I've never had anybody beg to go to jail, but he begged me. He said, "I can do this, Joe. I want to do this. I want to do this." Well, he went and he had a goal to produce 1,000 GEDs. Now you think about that, and you think about that goal in and of itself, 1,000. Is just incredible, and ended up doing it will be over 800 by the end of the year when he's done. You know, that's a school full of people, and he has been invited nationally and state to go speak to teachers and what he is doing to help people. He makes me proud to be an educator. He makes me proud to be an educator, and what a loss to Nebo, and what a loss to education it will be when he retires this year. So thank you, Steve, very much for being a great friend and a great example for our teachers and staff and district. Just to bring the board up to date on adult ed, we have behind Landmark High, there's a trailer, and it says Nebo Adult Education Center. And I think about 6 years ago, when I was asked to take the program over, I looked at the budget the other day, and we were bringing in about $100,000. And to let the board know, where does that money come from? It's below the line money that's funded by the state, and it's funded on what's called outcomes, meaning the number of diplomas that we produce, the number of GEDs, the contact hours, level gains that students make. So it's kind of a publish or perish program. If you don't produce the numbers, you don't get the budget. Due to the dedication of some very special teachers, we have more than doubled that budget. We did not even have a full-time teacher when I first started, and today we have almost three full-time teachers. We have Steve at the jail, and then 1.8 teachers at Landmark, plus a secretary. And that is due to those folks' hard work. And as the program's grown, we've been able to add more staff. But that's not what it's really about. It's really about reaching out to people who did not have the dream of graduating from high school, and for whatever reason, and then helping them achieve that dream, helping them get a GED or an adult high school completion diploma, and helping those folks. We graduated this year over 280 students this year alone with a GED or a high school completion diploma. And I know you guys signed many of the completion diplomas at board meetings as they come through. We also have an excellent English as a second language program. We have a lot of folks come from all over the world and learn how to speak English at our center, and that they do an excellent job with those folks. And so I just wanted to take a minute and let the board know that program is growing. 2 years ago, the district office, you guys, was nice enough to bring that trailer down, and we moved from a one classroom deal into the trailer, which doubled our floor space. It's a nice two classroom complex. And you can come by it. It's a nice 2-classroom complex and doubled the amount of the area, but we serve a lot of people. And we open at 9 o'clock in the morning, and believe this or not, 3 days a week we go till 9 at night. And so for the variety of hours that we're there, we can serve a lot of people. And I think that's just good for the board and the district to know that there's programs out there after people get out of high school and they didn't quite make it, that we, Nebo District, we keep caring, we keep assisting them and helping them reach their goals and achieving their diploma, and then from there linking them with MATC or Department of Workforce Services, but in the end helping them increase their income, helping them increase their ability to earn and support a family. So thank you very much.
This year we also have 2 Huntsman Award winners, and I'd like to ask Priscilla Lee to come up and stand by me here for a minute, and I want to tell you a little bit about the Huntsman Award. And Priscilla is from Springfield High, and she received the Huntsman Award. The Huntsman Award for Excellence in Education highlights the achievements of some of Utah's best educators and expresses gratitude for their devotion to Utah's children. The award's mission is to recognize, inspire, and reward the best teachers, school administrators, and volunteers in Utah for continually seeking ways to improve the quality of education in our public school system. The Excellence in Education program is in its 22nd year, and like I said, 11 top educators are selected for their professionalism, creative approaches to reaching the minds of young people and their lasting positive influence on students. Priscilla was nominated by her peers and the people that work around her, with her, and it is a great honor. Priscilla, were you a little surprised? So tell us, what did you think when Mrs. Karen Huntsman comes in and surprises each of these recipients every year? She travels the whole state, and what did she?
Well, I was really surprised she came to my classroom. I was standing in front of my class teaching, and she walked up right next to me, standing in front, and asked if she could possibly be in my class, even if she was 76 years old. And I told her she was more than welcome, but I really didn't know who she was at that point. But then she introduced herself and told me that I had been one of the recipients of the Huntsman Excellence in Education Award, and I was really thrilled. Well, my students applauded.
I just wanted to read one paragraph from what the nominating committee said about Mrs. Lake. Priscilla Lake is a consummate professional who is always providing her students with interesting and challenging assignments which require thoughtful and sophisticated answers. She never settles for mediocrity. She is innovative. Her instructional techniques focus on group activities that never cease to elicit enthusiasm from her students. She is tireless in her pursuit of excellence. As a former principal at Springville High, I know that to be true. Priscilla is an outstanding educator and well-deserving of the Huntsman Award for Excellence in Education. So thank you, Priscilla.
Our other Huntsman's winner for this year has chosen to be with their child over at BYU, where they receive a chemistry award. So like any good mother, you're choosing your child over yourself. So we'll recognize her next month in board meeting. Now we'd like to give an award to another great teacher, educator recipient. It's a award that you're probably not familiar with. It's the Arts Inc. Outstanding Educator Award. I've asked Julie Christopherson, our Fine Arts Coordinator, to tell you a little bit about the award, and then we'll award Mr. Perry Ewell with that award. And Perry, if you'll come up, and we'll make a big deal about this while you stand here and we'll look at you, so that'll be fun.
Arts Incorporated stands for Artistic Resource for Teachers and Students. If you're over 40, you may have remembered their previous name, which was Young Audiences of Utah. Anyway, they provide professional performances in our elementary schools, but they also partner with community, business, education, and arts organization in the promotion of arts. Recently, the governor declared it to be Partners for Arts and Education Week in Utah. As part of this dedicated week, several awards, well not several, maybe only 10 statewide were selected. And Nebo District is proudly represented by Mr. Ewell. I would like to just share a couple of words from Governor Herbert in his proclamation. I'll just skip a little bit. Whereas connecting culture and fine arts to core curriculum provides students with opportunities to discover creative thinking and innovative problem-solving strategies, as well as learn critical communication skills that are necessary for their success in the future. Whereas cultural studies and fine arts education also enhance students' understanding and appreciation of music, drama, dance, and the visual arts across different cultures and ethnic traditions, helping them develop into well-rounded individuals and thoughtful, open-minded members of a multicultural society. And then he goes on to declare it Partners for Arts and Education Week and recognize Arts Inc. But we at Nebo are very proud, especially proud, because the governor's words resonate with Nebo Schools District's initiative on arts education, and it's not just me, it's Governor Herbert too. So we are very proud of Perry Ewell. So Mrs. Warren will tell you more.
And just to tell you a little bit about Perry, he's a 5th grade teacher at Spring Lake Elementary, and he has been for a long time. I've known him, and he's an outstanding educator. And we've been at the business in Nebo of really focusing on arts integration, I'd say the past 5, 6, 7 years. But Perry has been integrating for many years. He's been on that bandwagon and really creating an integrated education for students along the way with the dramatic arts. Every year he puts on a play, The Christmas Carol, with his students. He directs it, he's written it, and put it together for his students, and integrates this great dramatic theater for his students. And all along the way, they're learning very many great educational lessons and having this experience. One of Perry's colleagues said this about him: Mr. Ewell believes that the responsibility of an educator is threefold. First, help students see their own potential and strive towards that capability. Second, foster responsibility and citizenship within students. And third, inspire the acquisition of knowledge and skills for the joy of growth and the increased ability to accomplish good. He does all these things. He does it so well. He makes it look easy. So our hats off to Perry Ewell for receiving this great award.
We'd like to have the 3 people we just recognized, Steve, Priscilla, and Perry, if you'd come up around behind the podium and let the board shake your hand and congratulate you.